Good evening, everybody. We want to welcome you to the enlarged City School District of Middletown Board of Education meeting for Thursday, August 14, 2025. I want to thank members of our public for being patient. We were a little bit late. We had 4 wonderful interviews in executive session, 2 of them with 2 individuals who will now become members of the Middletown Board of Education as our student reps, in Eden Lugo and Napur Patel. They will be sworn in next week. They will be sworn in next week as new members of the Middletown Board of Education. So we congratulate them. And then we also did a couple of interviews with 2 new individuals who you will meet later on today. They're not new to the district, but new to a new positions here in Middletown, and we were very excited to interview with them, which is why we were a little bit late this evening. So at this time, a reminder that this agenda was prepared in advance of tonight's meeting. The final agenda for tonight's meeting is subject to change at the time of the meeting. Any changes will be noted at the time they are made and again after the meeting on the public board minutes, which are available on the district's website. And Madam Vice President, in Spanish, please.
Esta agenda fue preparada antes de la reunión de esta noche. La agenda final para la reunión de esta noche está sujeta a cambios en el momento de la reunión. Cualquier cambio se anotará en el momento en que se realice y nuevamente después de la reunión en las actas de la Junta Pública que están disponibles en el sitio web del distrito.
And we'd also like to remind everyone that translation and interpretation services are available during this meeting. If you need assistance, please let us know and we'll be happy to accommodate you.
Nos gustaría recordar a todos que los servicios de traducción e interpretación están disponibles directamente para esta reunión y si necesita alguna asistencia, por favor, infórmenos y con gusto lo ayudaremos.
And at this time, if we could please rise for our Pledge of Allegiance led by Mr. Andrew Moore. Any moments of silence, Mr. Perino? Okay. Thank you. And now for the mission of the enlarged City School District of Middletown, Ms. Tobiasen.
Thank you, Mr. Estrada. The mission of the enlarged City School District of Middletown. We strive to provide physically sound educational opportunities in a safe environment that continuously support our diverse student population. We will enable all students to graduate, to reach their full potential, to become lifelong learners, and to become competitive, productive members of society.
Thank you, Ms. Tobiasen. Roll call, Ms. Manchery.
Dr. De Jesus, Mr. Estrada,
Here.
Mr. Moore,
Here.
Mr. Perino,
Here.
Mr. Rett, Ms. Romero,
Here.
Ms. Tobiasen, Mr. Freddie Williams, Pastor Williams. Thank you.
And Dr. DeJesus and Mr. Ritter are on vacation this week. I need a motion to approve tonight's agenda. Moved by Ms. Tobiasen, seconded by Mr. Freddie Williams. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. I need approval for the regular meeting minutes from July 31st, 2025.
So moved.
Moved by
Second on
Mr.
that.
Moore, seconded by Mr. Perino. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. I need approval for the special meeting minutes from August 7th, 2025. Moved by
Second.
Ms. Tobiasen, seconded by Mr. Perino. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. And now for our action items this evening. We'll run through all of the action items, and then we'll have some personnel introductions by our superintendent. So I need approval for Personnel Memorandum 4A, numbers 1 through 2. Moved by Mr. Moore, seconded by Pastor Williams. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. I need approval for Instructional Personnel Memorandum 4B, numbers 1 through 10. Moved by Pastor Williams. Seconded by Freddie Williams. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. I need approval for non-instructional personnel memorandum 4C, numbers 1 through 6.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Perino. Seconded by Mr. Moore. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. I need approval for financial memorandum 5D, numbers 1 through 5. Moved by Ms. Tobiasen,
Second on that.
seconded by Mr. Perino. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. I need approval for special services memorandum 4E, numbers 1 through 2. Moved by Pastor Williams, seconded by Ms. Tobiasen. Any discussion? All those in favor? I'm sorry. Freddie made the original motion, and then seconded by Ms. Tobiasen. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. I'm usually pretty good with the hearing of the names. I missed that one. I need approval for change orders 3F, number 1. Moved by
Second.
Ms. Tobiasen, seconded by Mr. Perino. Bill, can you give us some insight?
So this change order is related to the Cherry Street storm drainage work and is to provide and install an additional catch basin where the new storm drain intersects an existing sewer line.
Great, thank you. Any questions?
Okay.
Mr. Perino?
One thing, Ed, Bill and I, on any of these change orders, we discuss them before the meeting, and if there's any major questions, I bring them to the change order committee, so.
Thank
We're
you.
not just approving these.
Yeah.
We-
And as-
We
and as-
understand these.
And as Mr. Perino has mentioned before, it may sound like we're just going through this very quickly, but most of these items have been presented to the board last week, and we have a week to ask any questions and get any concerns clarified beforehand. So, and Mr. Perino does that for the change order committee. Thank you, Mr. Perino. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. I need approval of the Dignity for All Students Act DASA coordinators. Moved by Ms. Tobiasen, seconded by Mr. Moore. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. I need approval of emergency building air conditioners at Presidential Park Elementary. Moved by Pastor Williams, seconded by Mr. Freddie Williams. And if I can ask the superintendent, we had some issues with Presidential Park over the last week that have resulted in this particular motion being presented to the board this evening. If she can give us some background and how we're going to pay for it.
Sure, thank you. So this resolution is to authorize the district to utilize fund balance to pay for the emergency repairs that will be associated with the fault of the Presidential Park air conditioners, so that we can both investigate a long-term solution so that we have air conditioning in that school without any delay, as well as the potential rental of mobile air conditioning units so that there's no gap between our ability to open school on time.
So for folks out in the public who may see trailers with air conditionings for Presidential Park, that's just a short-term solution to make sure that there's air conditioning in place in the building by the time school starts in September. In the meantime, and we do unfortunately expect that this is probably going to be a $3 to $5 million fix over at Presidential. The air conditioning units there from when the building was built are coming up on their shelf life, so to speak. And so this will give the short-term fix with the trailer air conditioners will allow the district time to really put out to bid the long-term solution to the problem. So no effect on the taxpayers' base, as we always talk about here about making sure we have a healthy fund balance. And we've been criticized sometimes by the state of New York for having too much of a healthy fund balance. But the reason why we have a healthy fund balance is to, whenever we borrow money, our interest rates are low because we have one of the best Moody ratings in the state of New York when it comes to a school district, and also for emergencies exactly just like this. So kudos to not only this board, but previous boards over decades. That's been the philosophy of this school district in regards to making sure that we maintain a healthy fund balance, and now you know the reason why.
Yeah, and tonight's resolution set aside $3 million of that fund balance so that we can begin to resolve the problem.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. And now, as we've completed our action items, we'd like to congratulate some folks who were on tonight's personnel memorandum. And I'll hand it over to our superintendent, Amy Creedon, to help with introductions.
Great, so thank you very much. Tonight, it is really exciting to welcome Julie Dominguez-Post to the podium as our brand-new Director of ENL World Languages. And Julie is taking this position because Linda Rivera-Brat is retiring, and so it is an honor to welcome Julie in the position officially. Thank you, Julie.
Is it on? Okay. Primero voy a empezar en español para dedicar esta presentación y a dar agradecimiento a la comunidad de Middletown. Buenas tardes, Presidente Estrada, Vicepresidente Romero y el equipo de Junta de Educación. Estoy inmensamente agradecida por la oportunidad de aceptar la posición de directora de bilingüe, inglés como segundo idioma y idiomas mundiales. Yo estoy 100% dedicado a esta comunidad de tener progreso. Hemos tenido mucho progreso en este departamento y me encanta seguir el trabajo que ha estado. Mi experiencia como subdirectora y asistente directora de educación especial me va a ayudar y nos va a ayudar como el distrito para seguir adelante con el trabajo, y muchas gracias por la confianza que tienen en mí para hacer el trabajo y para colaborar con todos y la comunidad para hacer el trabajo, para que nuestros alumnos sigan adelante y nuestras familias igual. So good evening, President Estrada, Vice President Romero, and Board of Education, Superintendent Creedon. I am very honored to accept the position as Director of Bilingual ENL and World Languages. This really has been a dream of mine since I was a young girl. I always said that my passion was language. I told the story earlier of going to Mexico with my family as a child and packing up my teacher's materials and bringing them with me and having a little circle in the middle of the pueblo to teach English to my friends, my cousins, and that really ignited the passion for teaching language. As my master's, my undergrad, my experience as an educator, bilingual ENL educator, has really set forth the foundation to be able to support scholars. Different family situations have also supported and in understanding, right, the difficulties and the layers of language learning, language acquisition, and understanding the community and working with the community. I'm 100% dedicated to this district, to this position, to the work, to collaborating with everybody. There has been tremendous work that has already been done in the district in our bilingual ENL World Languages department, so I am excited to continue that amazing work and collaborating with everybody. Thank you for your support, and looking forward to the work to have together. So thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, Julie, and congratulations again. And I just want to acknowledge that our thoughts and prayers continue to be with Mrs. Linda Rivera-Brat and her family at the unfortunate passing of her father. So I know that she would want to be here this evening to celebrate this, and she fully supports this next transition. So I just wanted to, let her know that we're still thinking of her and keeping her in our hearts.
And after we have our next introduction, I'm going to call for a moment of silence for her dad. I do have the obituary, and I'll read some of the words for him. Mr. Rivera was my neighbor for 7 years a while back, so he'll be sorely missed, not only for the Rivera family, but in general in the community, because he was a community guy. So.
Okay, at this time, I am going to ask Mrs. Karina Acevedo to come to the podium with our brand-new Dean of Students, Ms. Supora Newsome.
Good evening, everyone. I am very excited to be here. Good evening to our community members, our board president, our vice president, to our esteemed board members, our superintendent of schools. I am pleased to introduce the newly appointed Dean of Cohort 2025, Sephora Newsome. Mrs. Newsome brings us nearly 20 years of experience as both community leader and educator. She holds a bachelor's degree in mathematics from Brooklyn College, a master's in educational leadership from Long Island University, and a master's in adolescent education from Mount St. Mary's. Most recently, Ms. Newsome served at Twin Towers Middle School. She also brings valuable experience for her service, and I thank you for your service in the military. Please join me in welcoming her to our cohort 2025, where she will definitely make a positive impact.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Acevedo. I just want to thank you all for your vote of confidence. I know she shared I've been here working and living in this community for the past 20 years. Bulk of that time has been spent as a transitional bilingual math teacher at Twin Towers. I'm going to miss my Twin Towers family, but I am in debt to them for my growth as an educator. I'm also so excited to join Cohort 2025 team and continue to support scholars and their families in this new role. Thank you.
So we, as a board, were greatly impressed by both candidates for their new positions. We are in strong position as there's transitions in both areas, and we have a lot of confidence in both of them. So congratulations, and welcome to continue your dedication to our Midi Bears, overall in the district and here at the high school especially as well. So at this time, I'm going to just read the obituary for Carlos Charlie Rivera. Carlos Charlie Rivera, a cherished husband, father, father-in-law, grandfather, great-grandfather, brother, brother-in-law, uncle, and friend, passed away peacefully on August 8, 2025 at the age of 88 in Middletown. Born on November 12, 1936 in Manhattan, Charlie lived a life marked by dedication, service, and a deep love for his family and community. He attended PS 62 in the Bronx and the Manhattan High School of Aviation Trades. He was an avid swimmer and water safety instructor who saved the lives of many as a highly skilled lifeguard at South Beach in Staten Island and Rockaway Beach in Rias Park. Charlie's service to the country as an Army veteran, achieving the rank of Sergeant First Class, spoke to a strong sense of duty and patriotism. He also served with distinction as a detective second grade in the NYPD's Bronx Homicide Task Force, where his sharp instincts and dedication to justice were recognized by everyone who worked with him. Charlie's passion and commitment to law enforcement and public service were also matched by his philanthropy. He was a humble gentleman with a big, bright smile who aimed to promote the welfare of others and generously helped those in need. He was also a lifelong member of the NYPD Hispanic Society, the Association of Retired Hispanic Police, and the NYPD, the Detectives Endowment Association, and the Honor Legion of the Police Department of the City of New York. Charlie received numerous awards, commendations, and exceptional merits during his lifetime for outstanding police work, valor, and community service. He was recognized by the Haverstraw Elks Lodge number 877 and supported the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund, along with many non-for-profit organizations. As a retiree from the NYPD, he worked for Pinkerton Securities and Middletown's Regional Economic Community Action Program, known as RECAP here locally, ensuring the safety of others and helping people while positively changing their lives. He was predeceased by his father, Jose Antonio Rivera, and his mother, Panchita Gonzalez. Charlie is survived by his beloved wife, Nildalina Rivera, with whom he shared 65 years of love and cherished memories. He was a loving father to his 3 children, Charles, Chaz, I knew him as Rivera, and his wife, Elsie Garcia Rivera, David Rivera and his wife, Bridget Coca Rivera, and Linda Rivera Brat, our own Linda here at Middletown, and her husband, Anthony Brat. His legacy continues through his 5 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren who will miss his guidance and warmth. He also leaves behind his sister Gloria Edrich, half-brother Jose, Joe Antonio Rivera Jr., half-sister Lydia, and several nieces and nephews, all of whom will remember Charlie for his steadfast presence and his kind heart. So at this time, if we can have a moment of silence for Carlos Charlie Rivera. Thank you. And our prayers continue with the Rivera family. And we'll move on now to our Spotlight in Excellence, our leader in me. I'll hand it over to our superintendent.
Great, thank you. I'm going to invite Mrs. Hall and Mrs. Tagney up to the podium to begin their presentation, amplifying the work we've done all year on Leader Me and updating us on some next steps. And I think they have some special scholar accompaniments to support the presentation.
All right. Thank you so much, Bryce. All right, so good evening, everyone. Ms. Hall and I are honored to be here this evening alongside our fellow scholar district leaders, Abby, Drew, Bryce, and Emily, as we celebrate our first year of implementing Leader Me here in Middletown. Tonight, you'll hear from our incredible Lighthouse Scholar Ambassadors standing behind us as they share their leadership experiences and what they're most excited about as we enter the upcoming school year. To begin, please welcome Abby Fabian from Mount Hagen Middle School's Lighthouse team.
My name is Abby Fabian. I attended Mahagan Middle School. As a member of the Lighthouse team, I've been working on a development project to improve the school academically by creating stronger social bonds between students and teachers. From what I've observed, teachers that students actually get along with are more respectful and volunteer more. Students and teachers that interact in friendly terms are said to be more trusting of a student. I'm looking forward to the results of our district working together to make this place a better school for us all.
Thank you, Abby. Next up is our Lighthouse Scholar Ambassador, Drew Moore, 8th grader at Mount Hagen Middle School.
My name is Drew Moore, and I attended Monhegan Middle School. As a member of the Lighthouse team, I've learned how to speak up confidently and think outside of the box. I'm looking forward to making the school a comfortable place to be at and gaining responsibility for big projects around the school. I want to motivate students to speak up and have student-led classes all around. I'm really proud of how this allows students and staff to use their voice to state their ideas for how they want to see the schools in the future.
Great job, Drew. Next up is Lighthouse Scholar Ambassador Bryce Terwilliger from Twin Towers Middle School's Lighthouse team, entering 8th grader.
My name is Bryce, and I attended Twin Towers Middle School. As a member of my Lighthouse team, I have been trying to help my fellow classmates improve their grades using Student Portal, making them aware of their assignments and grades. I'm very much looking forward to making the school a better place for my following years.
Great job, Bryce. And last but not least, we have returning graduate from Middletown High School this year, Lighthouse Scholar Ambassador Emily Betances, who is going to be taking her leadership skills next year to UConn. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. As a member of the Lighthouse team, I've been provided a new outlook on how to improve the school environment, which made us conscious of how our role within the school affects everyone around us. We were brought together as students and teachers to show we are more similar than different, allowing us to have a better view and more respect for our teachers. It also showed the younger students how to be goal-oriented and allowed me to find my voice in a room of important adults and showed me how to create a strong voice. I'm looking forward to going off to college. I will be attending UConn with hopes of being as involved in school over there as I was in Middletown High School. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you to our Lighthouse Scholar Ambassadors for sharing your inspiring journeys and your voice. This year was truly amazing, teaming alongside of these scholars. We had several opportunities to team with some of them in some of our district leadership meetings, and it was truly a pleasure getting to work alongside them as district leaders. To amplify what you just heard, we have a video that we're going to share with you that highlights all the powerful moments and the journey that we've embarked on so far with Leader in Me here in Middletown.
Okay, you want to do it?
I think I lost the mouse. There we go.
Sorry about that.
Hold on, technical difficulties.
Yeah, it's at the top, but we lost the mouse.
Oh, okay.
Oh, got it. They took us off.
I'll let the professionals. Year one of Leader in Me at Middletown City Schools has been about planting seeds of leadership, ownership, and possibility, and already we're seeing them take root. This year, over 700 staff members across the district have participated in foundational Leader in Me training, diving deep into the 7 habits and learning how to model and empower leadership in our school community. Our scholars, educators, and staff have worked alongside one another to begin setting personal and academic goals for themselves and the larger school community, tracking progress and celebrating success every step of the way. From kindergarten to high school, scholars are discovering the power of being proactive, putting first things first, seeking first to understand, and keeping the end in mind.
Scholar leadership roles have been introduced and set up in all secondary buildings, giving scholars ownership of daily routines, events, academic plans, building-wide culture, and even peer mentorship. They're learning that everyone has a role to play in creating a positive school culture and understanding that here in Middletown, they have a seat at the table for their voice to be heard. Scholars' voices are rising. Across our district, scholars are finding their voice and learning how to lead with purpose, whether through morning announcements, school-wide events, or Lighthouse team initiatives.
We've taken our first steps in measuring progress with the MRA survey, gathering valuable insights from scholars, staff, and the larger school community. This data is helping us reflect, adjust, plan, and continue to build an inclusive school culture of leadership for all.
I would say that Leader in Me is the program that brings the best environment for your teachers and your students to learn and teach in.
They listen to my ideas, how I'm feeling.
I want to get involved because I want to be able to help out and communicate with other people.
I just thought it sounded fun and interesting because you get to talk about how to better the school and teach students and teachers how to be leaders.
It makes sure that everyone is comfortable in an environment where they feel welcome.
It's a safe place where you could come in and you could talk about your ideas and how you feel. You yourself can make the school that you're in a better place.
It's just the beginning, but the impact is already visible in year one. As we move into year two, we remain committed to our vision, a district where every scholar knows they are seen, heard, and capable of leading. We're taking intentional steps to strengthen the partnership between our schools and the broader community by involving families and caregivers in our Leader in Me journey. We will offer opportunities for community members to participate in professional development sessions alongside our staff, creating a shared language of leadership that extends beyond our school walls. Through workshops, collaborative planning meetings, and school events, we aim to co-create a culture where leadership is nurtured in every setting, home, school, and the community. Whether through service projects, mentoring, or simply learning about the 7 habits together, we believe our collective efforts will help every scholar grow into their leadership potential. We embed this work into all aspects of the scholar experience, including our clubs and athletic programs. Coaches and club advisors will be supported in integrating the 7 habits into team building, goal setting, and reflective practices, reinforcing leadership as a daily mindset. From the field to the stage to scholarly government and beyond, our scholars will have ongoing opportunities to lead purposefully, collaborate effectively, and contribute meaningfully to their school communities. Leadership isn't just something we teach, it's something we live together. Because here in Middletown, we are all leaders and legacy makers. Okay, so we want to give it up for our tech team for just supporting us with that video. They were amazing, and we're going to represent that. So just as we look ahead and keeping the end in mind, we want to look into the upcoming school year, and our focus will be with advancing to Core 2, which emphasizes deepening leadership practices and empowering scholars to see themselves as capable leaders. The next phase will expand beyond the classroom implementation. So we're looking at our lighthouse teams and just expanding and building scholars at the elementary level. Fostering a greater community engagement through family workshops and opportunities to bring those 7 habits to real life practical practices, and by involving parents and community members, local organizations. We aim to create a shared leadership culture that supports both academic and excellence and the development of lifelong scholars, ensuring that they're not only prepared for success in the classroom, but responsible citizens in their community. And Nicole and I always share this, and Christine Dumais, our other partner, you know, this was a heavy lift, this was a large charge, and we're just excited about the impact that we've had this year as our initial year. And just going forward, how we want to build these practices in everyday life for our scholars here in Middletown. So using those paradigms, we're thinking win-win, how our lighthouse and our way with scholars in the community. So we're building school and community lighthouse teams as part of our Leader in Me journey, shaping our vision of leadership and student success. So we want to engage with more community action and making sure that our scholars and families are aware that their voice matters. So you can connect with us at lighthouse@ecsdm.org to join us for collaboration and family and staff community partnership.
And so just to echo what Ms. Hall was sharing, so next year, this upcoming year, we're really excited to be partnering with the school community at large to really join in on the training and also join our Lighthouse team. So I can't echo enough, your voice matters. And if you are interested in joining our Lighthouse teams in the district and in the school, please email lighthouse@ecsdm.org because we would love to partner with our community members and have you join us on this journey.
Thank you, Mrs. Tagney and Mrs. Hall. And just so we can make sure that our young people get the flowers that they deserve in terms of volunteering their time to be here this evening, thanking our families for being genuine partners with us on this work, could you kindly introduce each one of the Lighthouse team members that are here this evening again?
Sure. All right. So first we have Bryce Terwilliger. Drew Moore. Abby Fabian.
and Emily Bertances.
So we'll go around the table if anybody has any questions. Gee, we have a Drew Moore too at our table.
It's actually Andrew Moore.
Mr. Moore, Mr. Andrew Moore.
I'll say thank you for the great work. I definitely seen an opportunity, not only for my daughter, taking initiative and joining this force, but I'm going to challenge myself and also Drew, because we're going to bring this into our space where, I coach 13U and 15U girls basketball. So, and Drew being one of the leaders, I'm going to challenge her to bring this on to the team. I feel like there is tremendous amount of learning opportunities with the habits that are displayed that we can definitely benefit from. So, Drew, you have a task this coming fall season and the spring. As you know, we travel a lot, but this is definitely be a benefit to the team. So thank you. You continue your work, and also this is definitely a stepping stone for your engagement with the community. So I'm looking forward to it. Thanks.
Thank you. Drew's ready for the challenge, by the way.
Yeah, and I just want to add that, we have a new collaboration that began as a board charge with our leadership team in bringing together our community athletic partners and district. And one of the first things that we talked about in that is how can we encourage the development of an emotional IQ and habits of highly effective people. And so this summer, we met with Mrs. Hall and Mrs. Tagney and thought about how can we begin to implement this. And so one of the first things that they did was design a personalized training that was implemented this summer in 2 different phases. Last week was the first training, and tomorrow is the second training. And so all of our coaches that will be participating as an athletic supervisory role with us this year will be required to participate in a session that does exactly what you just said, Mr. Moore, is how can we bring these habits outside of the classroom and into all of the work that we do. Our young people have the capacity to be a leader.
Thank you, Mrs. Creedon. Mr. Perino.
On one of your slides, you had make a difference. And the individuals who I see here tonight, Tiffany Hall, Nicole Tagney, Julie Dominguez Post, and all the students, you are making a difference in the district. I know Tiffany and Liz Bola, excellent job this summer in reading.
Thank you, Mr. Perino.
And I asked you about that, and you sent me some material on it. Yes. And one of the quotes you put down was from Lee Iacocca, who, of course, was the CEO for Weil Ford and both Ford and Chrysler. In a completely rational society, the best of us would be teachers, and the rest of us would have to do something else. And we have the best here, believe me, we have the best teachers, and we have the best administrators. We saw some administrator approved this evening, and I know she's going to do an excellent job, and you're doing an excellent job. And I know the visit to Thrall this summer, Tiffany, and the reading program, I know that was outstanding. I heard about that. Yeah. You told me about it, but then I heard back channels about it. So thank you very much for all you do, and Nicole and Julie and all the rest of the instructors this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Mr. Perino. Mr. Bison.
First of all, thank you for an excellent presentation. Secondly, thank you to the students who so adaptly came in during summer vacation. And thirdly, you made me feel a little old because I really remember Stephen Covey and the 7 Habits of Effective People. So I appreciate that. It was a good trip down memory lane. So thank you, and thank you for an excellent presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bison. Pastor.
Yeah, I concur. Thank you for an excellent presentation to all of you scholars that got up here. and spoke. Great job, great job. You are all such wonderful, wonderful examples to us to let us know that our future is really bright. And so, and to the parents, congratulations. You got great kids. Yeah, so let me say, I'm all in. Nicole, you already know. Tiffany, you already know. I'm all in. Whatever I can do. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is such a powerful. That in of itself is so powerful because for the last 30 years, it has been such a staple in leadership training in circles all over. Some years ago, I even taught directly from this particular book, even when it comes to dealing with perspective of how we look at things and how we see things and understanding the different perspectives that people have and the different angles that we look at things. And so congratulations, man. I think this is great. Middletown has always been ahead of the curve. We have really been ahead of the curve for many years in trying to provide not just academic education for our young people, but just developing them as people, as human beings. And this is just another example of how much this district, puts behind trying to make sure that we are literally trying to develop whole individuals. And so congratulations, kudos, and I'm looking forward to seeing so much more and hearing so much more and being a part of the process. So thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Williams. Vice President Romero.
Great presentation. Ms. Hall, Ms. Tagney, thank you for everything that you do, and congratulations to everyone.
Great job by everyone. I think, Bryce, did you do a presentation here at the high school one time? I think that's where we met at one time. It was with STEM program, correct. So, see, I do remember. I haven't lost my mind yet. But I kind of look at him, and he's looking at me, and I'm like, I think he wants this chair eventually. But congratulations to everyone. And, my message to Abby, Bryce, and Drew especially is a message that I don't know if Emily remembers at graduation that I told everyone, all of our graduates, is that we really need our graduates when they leave this building to be active citizens from day one. There are too many times in this world when once you leave these buildings and you go on with your lives that you don't become an active citizen. And what that usually leads to is that you end up finding that other people are making decisions for you. And you never want that to happen. You want to be able to have a voice in it. And so watching this program, for Abby, Bryce, and Drew, especially growing up over the next several years, is continue to be active citizens in your school community, because then once you graduate, that'll transition very easily to college or the workforce or whatever. When we interviewed our potential student board reps earlier tonight, we talked about them and being active citizens within the school buildings now. So I hope as part of this program, now that it's growing, that they now connect with our student board reps who will be in place before the school year starts. And part of their role will be for building administration at the high school to allow them some opportunities to go out to all of the buildings and listen to Bryce and listen to Drew and listen to Abby and the kindergartners. What interests them? What don't they like about school? What do they like about school? So they can bring that back to the Board of Education, and we can have a little bit more real time as far as addressing the concerns of our students. One thing we don't do a great job at the board level, and I've been doing this for 20 years, and it's been the same wherever you go, is we don't do a lot as far as interconnecting with our students. And hopefully that's starting to change over the last couple of years. We're always here at this table, we're worried about parents, we're worried about taxpayers, we're worried about a whole bunch of other stuff, but we kind of forget sometimes that everything we put in place has an impact on our students. And one way you make a policy work is by having the students be involved in how you make up that policy and how you address that policy. It's easier buy-in for them at that point in time. But if they're being told they have to do something and where they had no input whatsoever, that's a different story. Then it becomes a harder buy-in for them. So hopefully this is what's going to connect not only all the students in all of the buildings, but them to the Board of Education as well. So thank you for all your work.
Thank you.
So now we'll move on to our public participation and an opportunity to address the Board of Education. The board will designate a portion of its meeting agenda for public comment for a period of up to 40 minutes. Each speaker will be allowed up to 4 minutes. The public is not permitted to discuss topics and/or matters involving specific individuals. Speakers must sign in prior to speaking, and speakers are not permitted to cede their time to other speakers. Madam Vice President.
La Junta designará una parte de su agenda de reunión para comentarios públicos por un periodo de hasta 40 minutos. A cada persona se le permitirá hasta 4 minutos. No se permite al público discutir temas y o asuntos que involucren a personas específicas. Las personas deben registrarse y firmar antes de hablar. Las personas no pueden ceder su tiempo a otras personas.
Do we have any takers who'd like to address the Board of Education at this time? No takers? Okay. Did we have any letters to the Board of Education? No, thank you, Mrs. Monstree. There are no superintendent updates this evening, so we'll move on to our Board of Education updates, our community engagement updates. Each member has 4 minutes, and we'll start off with Mr. Moore.
Great. I actually have more for the conference. Do you want to? Yeah.
So we'll move along to Mr. Perino for community engagements.
Hey, thank you, President Estrada. I'm going to start off with a bit of school history. I received a call from Jeff Berkman, and Jeff, a former legislator and a member of the Thrall Library Board. As a matter of fact, Jeff and Rose, they were on the committee to design the new Thrall Library, and Jeff's been involved in community affairs. So he brought me a photo of the opening, the groundbreaking of Chorley School. Do you have that? Can we put that up there? Okay, there it is. And this probably dates back to I would say the late winter of 1963, I believe. I think we opened that building in 65. If you look at that photo, there are members of the board then. Ray Wood, Dr. Wood, who was a college professor. Dr. Mamalak, a leader of the going from left to right now, a pathologist and chief of staff at one time at was Horton Hospital at the time. And the next gentleman, very interesting, is Wilcox Jones. And Wilcox Jones was actually a dairy and egg farmer. So the district had that kind of a background. Next is Mr. Berkman, dad of Jeff. And then we have the director of facilities, Bill Klein. The next gentleman was kind of a mystery. I believe, I've been doing research on it, and I believe that's Charles Shute, who was a member of the Teachers Association at the time. Continuing, Ken Quick, who was a business manager at the time. And then at the end, to the right, is Louise Ellison. I believe Louise was the board president at the time. So there it is. Today we have Presidential Park School, but that's how it all started, with the groundbreaking of Chorley School. And I would say, as I said, probably in the late winter of about 63. So there it is. The other item I want to mention, this Sunday at the Elks Club, the 17th, there's going to be a backpack giveaway. Do we have that flyer at all, or not? Right, 10 to 12. And there's going to be, as it said, free backpacks and school supplies and a complimentary hot breakfast. So the backpacks are loaded with supplies. There's going to be a special appearance by Eroy the Elk, the Elk's drug-free mascot. 4 to 15 will have the opportunity to participate in a soccer shoot at the YMCA. So, you know, they all saying, and it went out of vogue for some reason, it takes a village to raise a child. And if you think about it, it's true. We're starting off with this program, and then Freddie Williams, the program at Fancher Davidge Park, along with the police department and Middletown Recreation Department. So we want the students to be well-equipped when they begin school, and this is the start of it all. So I'm about done now, and I don't want to go over my 4. So good. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Perino. Mr. Biason.
Nothing at this time, Mr. Estrada.
Thank you, Mr. Biason. Pastor Williams.
No, I don't have anything right now. I'll have something later.
Thank you, Pastor Williams. Vice President Romero.
I've got a letter to share with everyone on behalf of our Twin Towers Dean of Students, Mr. Damon Nolan, as he will be leaving our district in early September. He says, "Dear Middletown community, it has been an absolute pleasure to serve you over the past 3 years. This has been the opportunity of a lifetime to learn and grow in the most perfect position I could have imagined. The relationships and bonds I have formed, along with the precious memories and experiences I have gained at Middletown, will stay with me forever. To the school board members, Superintendent Creedon, Assistant Superintendents Adoma and Tuttle, and members of the district leadership team, thank you for making me a part of the Middletown family. Your tireless dedication to improving outcomes for all of our scholars and ensuring that leaders and staff throughout the district have the resources they need to make things happen is truly inspiring. To my fellow administrators and school staff, it has been my great honor and pleasure to work and learn alongside you. Every day you motivated me to be the best version of myself and to continue growing in my role. To the families and scholars of Twin Towers, thank you for welcoming me into the Twin family with open arms. I have loved serving you and getting to know you better. There is so much love and positive energy at Twin, and that starts with you. I will miss you and look forward to hearing all about your future successes. This ending is bittersweet. I look forward to my new adventure and challenge as an assistant principal in North Carolina. However, I will dearly miss the Middletown community. Thank you and bless you for this experience. Goodbye, but not farewell." I want to wish him all the best. Mr. Nolan, I wish him infinite blessings, and he's going to be missed. I think I also have to share something for my fellow board member, Freddie Williams. So this is an event. It Takes a Village. It's a back-to-school event for the community. It's a barbecue, and it's going to be held on September 6th at Davidge Park from 12 to 4. That's all I got. Thank you.
It is an awesome event that Freddie and Mitch Williams really helped initiate, and they put in a lot of hard work, and literally there'll be a couple thousand people there like there is each and every year. So please come out and enjoy it. It's a great community event for everybody going back to school. And speaking of back to school, you're done, right?
I'm done.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you.
I just wanted to let the board members know that Friday, August 22nd at 8 a.m. will begin the new teacher orientation. I'll be able to just say a couple of words on behalf of the board, just very short, a minute or two. But if my fellow board members would like to be there so we can introduce you to some new faces to Middletown, that would be great. Again, that's Friday, next Friday. I can't believe that the new teacher orientation is already a week from Friday. but August 22nd at 8 a.m. And we do have a workshop the day before, so I'll remind everybody about that at that time as well. So, and please, be aware that our district clerk, Mrs. Monchery, in her usual stellar fashion, put out the September calendar recently. So look at your emails and your calendars because she does a lot of hard work to update it. And just because the president sometimes doesn't look at it like he should, doesn't mean the rest of you don't need to look at it. So please take a look at that. So we don't have any student board member reports. We'll start getting those after the first of the year, 1st of September, when they start to report at our school board meetings. And we'll move on. Are there any committee reports of note?
Just, yeah. Ed,
Mr. Perino.
just very quickly, Lenny Zapka, about 2 weeks ago or so, invited Pastor Williams and I, Bishop Williams and I, to go see the new security system at the school. It's one component of it. It's called the Ronin system. And what it does, it allows students to be checked in a lot faster than the previous system. It's a non-invasive system. There's no radiation involved in it. And the gates can be moved quickly to the athletic field. It's not as cumbersome as a former system. And it can actually, one gate can accommodate 1,000 students per gate. So it's a big improvement. And the second component is going to be the scanner system, the new scanner system. There's a photo of the Ronin system. You see, I think it's Kenny. They're working this, and and it's tied into a little computer, and when the lights flash red, then the person is scanned, and there's one of our good security people. So I think it's going to be a big improvement, enhancement of our former system of admitting students. So that's a committee report for this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Perino. Just to piggyback quickly on that, do you think we'd be able to put out like a small video maybe of the use of that before the school? Okay, good. So they are working on a video to put on the website and stuff to just illustrate to parents how the system works before the school year starts. So.
The Ronin system, yeah.
And then, okay. And then during MIDI move-up day as well, they're going to be doing
Just to piggyback on that, you all know I had the opportunity a couple months ago when we first looked at the system to travel to Schenectady, who actually utilizes the system, and to see it in action. To see it in action outside of seeing it here, but to see it in action in Schenectady, the full system with the scanners and with the stanchions, it's a very impressive system, and I think that it's going to be very beneficial in moving things along faster and more efficiently, but also providing another level of safety and security that we so crave. And I make sure I make this statement every time we talk about this, and I made this statement to the representatives from the company. 12 years ago, I would have been totally, completely opposed to this. But in light of the changes in our world and the things that are going on, I am absolutely 100% in support of these type of systems to make sure that we are keeping our children safe. And the psychology and mentality behind it can only be addressed by the way that our staff approaches it. And I think that we have an excellent security staff that will be able that have created relationships with our young people that will make this operate even more efficiently. So I just wanted to add that in.
Cool, thank you. Any more committee reports, or is that it, John?
No, that scanner system, when we were there, the person, a company representative, he showed us a little snapshot of a weapon being tried to, a student was trying to get a weapon into a school. And this scanner system, and the person tried to disguise, put it in the bag and disguise it with this, it picked it up. It's that sensitive. It's as sensitive as the scanners in the airport. So it's a good system.
Yeah, I think we just have to continually educate our students on making sure that they don't try to pass something through,
Exactly.
because that's where the backlog starts to happen. Now, the good thing with this system is that as soon as somebody walks through, if it highlights something, you have the ability to then take that student to the side with another security guard. They're not holding up a line anymore.
Yeah.
The line is still going. So hopefully that'll help with a lot of the backlog there. Yep.
And I think another thing that the teams will be sharing out with lots of information as we get ready to head back to school is some of the shifts that we'll be making with regards to other items that will not be permitted to come in to school, which take a lengthy amount of time to check through at the arrival process. And some of those include those big Yeti cups and Stanley cups that are brought in, because those are brought in with items in them, and so it requires an additional step for checking them over. And so in order for us to continue to be responsive to our families' requests for an efficient process that maintains safety and security, but also gets our young people in schools and in academic settings, that's going to be a shift for the academic year.
So you just heard it here probably for the first time, parents and students. Be prepared. No Stanley and Yeti cups. One of the reasons why central administration and the Board of Education have gone in this direction is because there are social media, illustrations and about those items being used as weapons now. So we need to unfortunately take the preemptive strike and make sure that that does not happen here, as far as, utilizing social media and showing them how to use Yeti and Stanley containers in a violent manner. So it's unfortunate, but we go with the flow until we find something better. So thank you, Mr. Perino. Any other committee reports? No committee reports. We'll move on to conferences. And I know, Mr. Moore, you said you had some stuff on conferences.
Yeah, thank you, President Estrada. So 2 weeks ago, I had opportunity to attend the New York State Board Association 2025 Leadership and Education Conference in Albany with my fellow colleagues that sits on the board. The sessions really focused on some of the realities that many of the districts are facing in regards to academic stakeholder data, identifying the achievement gaps, attendance patterns, and community input and foundations for planning. They also explored strategic planning process and priorities with stakeholder communication and progress of monitoring. Some of the key takeaways, and I think this is going to come up a lot, something that we got a chance to sit in, it was actually New York Expires. It discussed the new changes that's going to be in place, which is like a portrait of the New York State education plan to phase out the Regents exams and move into more of to prepare students and aim them for critical thinking and problem solving and cultural compliance with real world skills, which I think is probably the best approach moving forward. Someone that has have an advanced degree in business and understanding the importance of a capstone project and building a portfolio, I think that's more of a suitable for this particular educational drive and pathway that we're moving forward to, and just moving away from just the standardized testing. The rollout will occur in 3 phases. which started back actually last year, fall, and up until 2029. The planning, installation, and implementation of the updates of the diploma requirements and assessments and learning expectations and financial literacy and climate education all will take part within that time period. Another thing that we learned about was where I feel like our district is probably light years ahead is that because we do such a good job, Mr. Tuttle and Superintendent Crean, as far as forecasting and planning when it comes to financial aspects. Just for example, our situation at Presidential Park, many other schools are not there yet. Surprisingly, many districts they're really on the hopes and prayer that the state and federal will save them year after year, as we are in a light years ahead of when it comes to understanding the different initiatives and goals that comes from the state level down. So what we learned during that time period was many of the school districts are in a state of fear, not knowing what the situation will come about when it comes to being fully funded, and with their aid, especially from the state and also with the federal. So seeing that and knowing that we could actually breathe a breath of fresh air gave me a little bit more hope. I definitely didn't see that on many of the other faces of the school board members that were there, unfortunately. But it's definitely something to be eye-opening, knowing that we are definitely ahead of the curve when it comes to this and actually have a better outlook moving forward. And that would be pretty much it. I don't want to go over my time, but definitely was something to learn from this leadership education event, and I definitely look forward to continue engaging, at the state level to be able to bring that information back to the stakeholders. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Mr. Perino, I heard you have something on thrall that you wanted to mention.
Well, I can do that. The other,
You can do it now if you want.
no, it's fine.
You sure?
Yeah, that's good.
So do you have anything about conferences? You're good?
Well, the only other thing I have, again, I was very, very impressed by the reading program that the district ran this summer, culminating in the visit to Thrall Library. I've read that the New York State reading scores are up this year. I know happened to read an article about New York City, they were up. I have no knowledge of how our scores came out, but I would bet that our scores, because of the reading programs that we've adopted, showed a marked increase in reading. We moved toward the phonics program and away from the whole language approach, and we have very, very dedicated instructors in this district in our reading programs, in our reading, and I just want to compliment again Liz Bowler and Tiffany Hall and the educators who made the reading program a success this summer: Karen Sutton, Irina Podowski, Beth Spears, and Jade Marie Patron. So good job to all, and that's all I'll have tonight. I don't want to belabor
I
this.
think
Thank you.
Superintendent Creedon wants to add to that.
Yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge that we have a board workshop on next week, and so the New York State 3 through 8 scores for math and ELA were released late last week, and so we're spending time digging into them, and so we'll go through a workshop with the board to review those results in a little more detail. But yes, the scores are up, and we have seen a slight increase in the district in terms of our overall performance of proficiency, which we are encouraged about and continue to believe is tied to both our programmatic changes in terms of what our classrooms look like, as well as the resources that our educators are accessing and the supports that they get from our instructional team. And so we're excited to dig into information sharing on that, but knowing that we still have much more work to do to close the gap that exists between our proficiency and state proficiency.
And I want to add that, one, it's a good indicator that we're seeing an uptick, right? Mr. Perino, throughout his career as a board member, has always been on top of this and his concerns about our lack of proficiency in that area. But I do want the public, I've mentioned this, I think I mentioned it when I was a school board candidate at a debate. And I don't think that, and the reason why I say it is because I want the public to understand the unique challenges faced by this specific school district when it comes to state testing at those levels. And the reason why I say that is because we obviously have a shortfall in proficiency at those levels, but yeah, our graduation rate is at 92, 93%. So you wonder, what does that mean, right? To me, what that means is that when we have a student who enters our district at the very beginning, they have great outcomes, right? The challenge we've had in the past, the challenge we have now, and I believe the challenge we will always have in this school district is we provide a lot of support services for our English language learners. We provide a lot of services for our students with disabilities. Well, and we're successful in both. What that usually means is that word of mouth, right, in each of those communities are, if you have an ELL student, a son or child or a daughter, or if you have a student with disability, son or daughter, this is the place to come, right? And I know because when my son who's autistic, when he was 2 and 3 years old, and my wife worked for the county's Child Protective Services, and we had a family decision to make on where we wanted our son to have special education services, my wife, who knew all of the districts through her job as a social worker for the county, said, there's nowhere to go. I'm not moving to Goshen. I'm not going, nothing against all of those, but the supports were here. And what that means is that we are always in this district going to have the challenge of educating very early on students who are coming to us with major challenges. Some of them from families at home who can't provide homework support because they don't speak the language, or students with disabilities who have other challenges to get them to the finish line. So in my estimation, our scores, I really honestly don't think that our scores will ever be on par with the state. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it because we don't have the talent to do it. I'm saying it because we embrace educating students with challenges. And what I hang my hat on as a board member is they're coming in with challenges, but they're leaving, 12 years later with a diploma in hand, and typically on time. My son, who started out at BOCES and was integrated back into the school system, graduated with his class on time, despite being having the challenge of autism. So it can happen when we get them early. Some of the challenges we also have, especially here at the high school, is, there are a lot of people out there who look at this place, right? This is a great place to send your student. If you're coming from New York City, if you're coming from a neighboring district like Newburgh, who's having challenges, and they come here, it means that we're getting them midstream. Now we're not getting them at 2nd and 3rd grade. So that's an even bigger challenge for the folks, especially here at the high school, to play catch up with many of our students who are coming in here in 8th or 9th grade, and trying to make sure they stay here and don't drop out. So in my estimation, we will always have challenges on the state tests at the lower grades. It doesn't mean we don't acknowledge that we have those issues and we try to get better. To me, incremental changes here is probably a bigger jump at another school district because of the type of student challenges that we have at those levels. So, this is not trying to whitewash something. There's an issue. And I give a lot of kudos to Mr. Perino for constantly, each and every year, saying we need to hold, not only our teachers and our parents and our students accountable, but also the programs that we pay for
Sure.
to try to help them improve. We want to see results, even if it's incremental. And as Superintendent Creedon was showing me that it's a slight increase, I'm like, well, that's a positive increase, but it's going to take a long time to get us to where we need to be.
Yeah, and I just want to add that, when you look back at when we started to make some significant shifts in how we were approaching just what the classroom makeup was, how we were grouping scholars and assigning teachers, and then moved more into the pedagogical approach and the resources that supported that, you see that in 23-24, our average proficiency rate was around 28% across the district K-3-5 on the ELA exam. And so this year, it's 37% when you look at all those grade levels combined. So we closed the gap, from an 18% gap where the state was and our performance was to a 16-point gap, but grew our proficiency by 9 points. So that is really something to be proud of. And the other piece that we look at is not necessarily just grade by grade comparison, but watching the cohort. So where were the third graders in 23-24?
Right.
Where are they now? And when you look at those third graders now, when we started to make that impactful change inside those ELA classrooms, this year, our fifth graders are the closest that we have ever been in closing the gap with the state. We went from our proficiency is 45% proficient for our fifth graders across the district, where the state's is 57. So that is evidence that those years of making those changes in third grade, in fourth grade, and now those kids tested as fifth graders this year, is impacting their performance. But to amplify what President Estrada said, this is not the measure that we really hang our hat on, right? It is a piece of the puzzle and one we watch and one we want to continue to close the gap on, but not the one that we hang our instructional hat on.
And I'm glad that you said that, Superintendent Creedon. I agree with President Estrada. We're data-driven. We've always been very data-driven, and our data will never match up with what the state data says, what they put out. One of the reasons is that because it's not just about the collecting of data, but it's also about how you analyze the data and how you disseminate the data. We're sitting right here, and we see the things that are being done. We know the things that are being done, and I want to make sure the community understands, because it's been a misnomer over the last 5 or 6 years, or maybe even longer than that, because some of us have been around for a little while, that when we celebrate, that means that we think we've made it, and that's not the truth. Yeah. We celebrate because we need to celebrate every bit of progress that we make, even if it's small steps. But that does not mean that we move into a place of apathy. It does not mean that we think that we're stagnant. There is something my dad used to say, to us, even as we were coming along in ministry. He used to say, "There's always work to do. There will always you will never arrive or finish, because as long as we are alive, there's growth. As long as you're alive, there's going to be things that we can learn. We will never learn everything. So there will always be work to do. But we celebrate because what we used to be and where we used to be, we're not there no more. So we celebrate, but it also gives us the opportunity to be able to have something even more to look forward to. So there's a continued pressing and a continued pushing that this district has always done. Mr. Moore said it even in respects to the financial outlook of this district. My position and my having the opportunity to interact with a lot of other districts over the years, many people are not where we are, and that's not to say that we're better than anybody else. But it's to say that there's a different mindset that we have, that we're always looking not just at where we come from, but looking to where we want to go.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we got a couple of districts that are the same size of ours, that if they had the same crises, you know, that we're having right now with the AC system, they would not be able to move and do what we did. We some years ago, one of the things that I have the ability to do since I've been on this board since 2013 is I remember almost, I'm not gonna say every, but I remember almost every vote that we've taken on major issues and the reason why we've made those decisions. And so I'm able to recall in my mind why we made those decisions, what was the purpose behind it. And the one thing that I do know is that we had a period of time when somebody was complaining, when they complained about our fund balance. You remember that? They complained about it. But the reason that we didn't bow down to that is because we knew there would be times like this. And where are we? We're able to operate, and it's not hurting us right now. So, you know, let's keep doing what we're doing. Let's keep pressing, because there's still going to be work to do.
One final thing on this, possibly, is it possible to get the results, the testing results, not on a statewide basis, because we get them anyway, but for the 54 small city school districts? Because that's the measure of comparables for us, right? Because the state average includes,
Yeah.
you know, there's 700 school districts, right?
Right.
90% of them do not look like us, right? So the state average includes those school districts.
Exactly.
Right.
Now, there are only 54 small city school districts in the state of New York, of which we are one. And all 54 of them suffer from the same challenges in their student populations. Those are the ones that I want to see where we're at compared to. Because, correct, they're the ones that have a student with disability population of 15% or an ELL student population of 15 or 20%. Those are the ones that we should be looking at. We can't compare ourselves to Warwick and Monroe and Minnesink. You know,
We can't
that's
even
not
compare
us.
ourselves
but
to
we can-
every we can't even compare
Correct.
ourselves to every small city school
Correct.
district.
But they're the
because
best.
they're not all, they're the
correct,
best.
but they're the best measure that
Right.
we have.
But
Because
we're
now
not
you're
all created
talking.
equal.
Now you're talking about the Poughkeepsies and the Newburghs and the Middletowns and the Elmiras
And the Jamestowns.
and the Jamestown. So I mean,
It's a different dynamic.
yeah. So I think we'll get a better grasp. You're right, Pastor, that it's not going to be a perfect comparison, but it's going to be the most attributable one for us, at least, to take a look at. Because if
You're
those
looking at
if-
it
if-
differently, but I think any small gain is a plus.
Oh, 100%. 100%. You know, but I don't want, because there are folks who want to compare us to the Warwicks and stuff like that. It's just a different world. And so we have to make sure that we're honest and transparent with our taxpayers, with our parents, and have the correct expectation for our students, not one that's elevated, that's beyond our grasp, because then that's going to make our job tougher. Because these students are working their butts off. They really are. They just don't have the same type of resources sometimes, whether it's an economic challenge at home, a parental challenge at home, what have you. It's just a different thing. Now, if you're going to show me a result that the small city school districts as a whole are at 50% and we're at 30%, then let's have that conversation, because then that's a different story. So hopefully we can get that information. But thank you, Mr. Perino.
But, Mr. Estrada, we took a major leap last year. Fontes and Pinnell was the Bible for teaching reading, and we went out kind of on a limb and looked at another program and brought it in. And with the support of our superintendent and with the support of the teachers, And one of my questions was, do we have a control group versus a group that stayed with the old system? What's the comparison there? And that can be very enlightening to us that, you know, we all feel we made the right move, but there's the ammunition that says, yes,
Correct.
we did.
Yeah, good point, good point. Any other information about conferences or anything like that? Nope. I do,
I'm sorry, let me just say this real quick. I want to thank all of my colleagues that did go to the Lee Convention. There was a time when many of us didn't go to a lot of the conferences. We were limited to 3. We started out with 5. They were calling us the Middletown 5. Then the next year we had 6. This year we're going to have almost 7, I think. Most everybody's going to be going, and so there are other conferences. In September, I'll be going to LA to the Council of Urban Boards of Education. And so I'll be in California for that. That's a part of the National School Boards Association. And then next April will be the National School Board Association Conference, which is going to be in San Antonio. And so I know I'm going on behalf of NYSBA, and I know sometimes we don't think about these things, but I want to just throw it out there. It might be a good idea outside of just me going, but it might be a good idea to pick somebody else maybe to go to the national school board conference. I'm just throwing it out there. Well, I know we have to look at how that impacts us as far as our budget is concerned, but I did want to throw that out there. It's beneficial. All of these opportunities for growth and to learn are beneficial, and you see how it impacts the district when we come back with that knowledge. I'm not a person that just wants to ride on what everybody else says. I want to know the rocket science of what we do, and I need to find it out for myself. So,
thank you, Pastor. I do have one question for the board. Is the New York State, so we need to appoint, Dr. DeJesus is our NYSBA rep, going to be our NYSBA rep, but we really need somebody with expertise in the resolutions process as a voting delegate to help her this year, so then she can take over next year as the voting delegate. So we'll leave that open for now, and maybe we'll discuss it at next week's workshop. Oh, it is. Okay, perfect. So we can have a voting delegate in place. So seeing nobody has anything else, right? No. Okay, a reminder, summer graduation is next Wednesday, the day before our workshop, August 20th at 2025 at 6 p.m. If everybody could please RSVP to Crystal so she can let the superintendent know who will be in attendance at summer graduation. Our next school board meeting is not a public meeting. It is an action item only and workshop on Thursday, the 21st. We'll also be swearing in our new student board members. It'll be followed by a workshop. And then our next meeting is when's our next public meeting? So we will have a public session for the action to swear in the board members. But the true public meeting is, when's the next one? September 4th, we'll have there. So now I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Bison has the first, Mr. Perino has the second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Great meeting, everybody. Motion
Nice
carries
meeting,
7-0.
Ed.
6-0.
Good job.